Good morning, we are up, we're doing it's so flat out there. It's actually not even that cold, which is really good. We had possibly the worst night's sleep last night on our mattress. I think it's because the dog's in with us. I'm wedged between Frank and the dog and I'm just like this. And yeah, it was terrible. But we woke up at one point and I was like, surely it's time to actually get up now and start the day. And I looked at the time and it was 12 o'clock and I literally could have died. And then Frank was like, what's the time? I was like 12 and he was almost be like, show me the time, because he didn't believe it either. We were both ready to just get up. We were in bed by like 6 o'clock because it's like autumn and it's dark by that time almost. But it's a beautiful morning. Thank you for listening to me complain about my night. We're getting the fire started.
Morning, just got the fire started.
Peppy's trying to eat every piece of crap on the beach.
Yeah.
So she's been summoned to the chair. Yes. Get the fire started. I'm going to make a coffee.
Yeah.
And then I think Frank's going to get in the water and have a bit of an early morning dive before we do breakfast. And we'll just like see where the day takes us.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in from here and head out past that yacht and around the corner and just, well, it's still a bit early, might have a snoop for a snapper or something and see if we can put a few more crays on the board, shoot Peppy a fish for lunch. So yeah, get out and then we'll cook up a big breakfast when we get back after that. So let's get the coffee on.
Yeah, you're in trouble, so you stay there.
Dear.
Oh my god.
Get that in the cup. She's having a hell of a morning.
I'm ready to go home.
Oh, my dive suit is in the boat, sandy and wet. I'm not looking forward to getting into that, but as Jane said, it's pretty mild. Like, it's still a bit chilly, but there's been a few cold mornings of late, and I think we've kind of cracked it, for how mild it is.
Oh yeah, it's been absolutely like winter in full swing.
Like freezing in the morning at home, like getting up out of bed and then sitting on the couch and getting under a blanket to have a coffee. It's been that cold. But yeah, it's pretty mint. Such a nice bay. Yeah, hopefully a few fish around. I love getting crays, obviously, but yeah, I don't shoot a lot of fish. Most of the time I get in the water, I'm just searching for crays. Got a few butters on the last episode, but yeah, sometimes get the odd blue cod around here, the odd snapper comes in. Yeah, we'll just see what happens, but pretty pumped to get out there, but just not pumped to get in the wetsuit. Yes.
Coffee and a dive, how does that go?
Well, they say actually that you shouldn't drink coffee before you dive because it speeds up your heart rate, and then you don't hold your breath as long or something. But I mean, like, I'm diving in 2 meters of water.
Yeah, true. You could probably talk going down there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have realised, I'm never diving deep. I've got pretty bad ears, and not only that, I'm just a pussy and I'm scared of the deep. A few of the boys know that if I can't see the bottom, I ain't diving it. And on the first of the camping episodes, when I dove in the real dirty water, when I first jumped in, I was freaking out because I couldn't see anything. But had to do it. I knew the crays were around, but yeah, you won't catch me out too deep. I'm a fisherman, not a diver. Thanking you. Yes.
Mine's probably majority water. But
yeah, yours is going to be... Oh, you should have like Harvey'd. Chin chin. Let's get him by the fire, eh?
Sit on the ground, I'm sorry.
I'll just do a little squat here.
Peppy Wawa.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry you were yelled at before.
I'm not sorry I yelled at you. Stop eating all the crap off the beach.
Are you okay? girl?
Is she okay? She's the most okay. She had a mint night's sleep, got up, ate everything on the beachfront, threw sand all over you, and now she's in her jumper on the chair in front of the fire. She's living her dream.
Just as she should.
It's been the mintest 3 days. And then it's going to rain tomorrow. Rain the next 2 days, I think. We cracked it. Saturday morning today, a few boats heading out.
Back into good books, eh?
Good girl. What a morning. Man. I can't believe how warm it is this morning.
Yeah.
I don't say warm, I just say not cold.
Comfortable with a few jackets on, you know? Like, I'm pretty rugged up, but I'm a freezing person.
Yeah, I've got a thin jumper on and I'm fine. Sun's just peeking through. So if we come into this bay during summer, the sun comes up straight out here and just beams straight in, but because it's, autumn? The sun's around there. I don't understand it. Moon came up over there. The moon came up last night. Hopefully you guys see that. I don't know.
Yeah, last night was absolutely unbelievable. We were watching the stars for ages, and I tell you what, the activity up there.
Yeah, what's going on in the sky, guys?
Mind-blowing.
We were just chilling in our chairs looking up, and the Milky Way was just lit up. There was just thousands and thousands of stars, but the traffic up there, I don't know if it's all satellites or something. At one stage I was watching these satellites come through in intervals of 30 seconds, one behind the other, and I watched 12 of them come past, and then they were almost crashing into other things going other ways. We saw 3 shooting stars. It was mental.
There was so much movement up there.
Yeah.
As soon as you look up, there's just they're boosting. Everything's going so fast.
Yeah, everything's going so fast. I remember when I was a kid and you'd look up, if you found one satellite, you were stoked. But then, yeah, you see them going like this now.
That was crazy. That was
mental.
Absolutely mental.
Could have been aliens.
I hope
Prove
we
me
got
wrong.
it. Yeah, aliens, right. Yes, maybe. I hope we got it on film.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look how all that came out.
Let's do it. I just paddled out to the boat to get my gear on. I'm glad we've left it a few days to dive out from the bay because it's so clear in here and it was so dirty the other day. There's piper everywhere through the bay here. Let's get our gear on, get into the water and get into it. Bye-bye, little dog. Bye-bye. Fishes.
Right, welcome back underwater, guys. Check out the conditions. It's so clear. Such a nice day. I can't believe it cleared up in the last 3 days. Look at this nice little sea flat here. So I just sneak up on this one and see you later, mate. How awesome are they? Alright, it's quite a big dive out to the point here where I'm going to start looking for crays. So let's just cut straight to the business end. Alright, just having a bit of a look around. It's super clear. Here's my first crack, and this crack runs from down here and up and around the corner and up into this gut. And as soon as I dive down, look, I don't know if you can see them there, but there's a few crays lying around. One down there, another one in there, and then as I come up, look at this crack. Get up into here, and there's a little headbutt to the rock there, but there's a heap of crays up in here. Look, here we go. A few smaller ones, but also a few size ones, a few fish hanging around in there. That striking thing was a red mogi. You see a lot of those around diving in New Zealand. Carry on down this crack and it opens up down here, and there's a few boulders and there's a few crays sitting around there. Yeah, look how shallow it is here. Pretty cool little crack. Heaps of crays in there. Just having a look, working out where the bigger ones are, working out which ones are size, and then we'll get into the business end and get down there and see if we can get a few. But yeah, lots of crays. I don't know what it is about winter diving, but the water just seems to clear up in a matter of a couple of days here in New Zealand. you're diving in summer, it must just be the difference in temperature and algae and what's going on, because in summer, after a big blow like that, it takes about 2 weeks for the water to get back to this clarity. But yeah, it's been like 2 days. Alright, having a dive down here, and we'll start down the very bottom and have a look at the first cray and see if this one's size or close enough to have a crack at. And yeah, it looks like it's not too bad, can't go anywhere. Reach in there, grab that one, little tussle, and pull that out. Boom, first cray on the board. Real easy diving this time of year, but I've said it in the past videos that that's definitely going to change. But got to make the most of it while it's good. Get the bag back over, first cray in the bag, we're laughing. A few of these crays are kind of on the borderline of being sized, so you'll see through this dive I put a few in the bag, and then we'll measure them later on and work out which ones are size and let the rest go. I've pulled the hook out as we go down and into this crack up the top here. It's actually quite narrow and I can't get my arm in there, so the cray definitely comes in handy, as you'll see here. I'm pretty sure this one gives me the shimmy and actually gets around the hook, and I have to have a second crack at it. Here we go, it's got the hook behind it, reach in and grab that one. That's cray 2. 3 cray limit, which you know, when you find a good crack like this, you can have your limit in under 5 minutes. Like, there's 2 out of 3. We're going back down now to have another crack. There's one hiding in there, I think that one's pretty small. One under that rock. I actually grabbed that one under the rock, you can't see that there, and then I go in and I grab this one as well, so another 2 for 1. And I'm just having a struggle there getting that one out. Drop it, grab it, drop my hook there, and yeah, we don't see that hook for about another half an hour because I'm too busy wrangling crays that I leave that there, and I work out later on in the dive that I don't have it when I need it. Anyway, 2 crays, stoked with that, and I am over my limit, just like that, and that was in about, honestly, about 5 minutes. But as you can see, these crays aren't huge, so I'll have to measure them. But they're going into the bag for now. I'll come for a bit of this one. Bit of the clarity. Alright, we're moving on to the next spot. We've got 4 crays out of there. I can see a couple of crays from the surface here. I'm just pointing them out there. I'll dive down and have a look. As I get down, look at this cool little spot where he's hiding. And that cray's about the same size as the last 2 I've just got, so I don't need any more of that size. And that one's the same, borderline legal, might just be, might not be. But I've got a few like that in the bag, so now I'm just diving around trying to find some bigger crays, and then as I find bigger ones I'll put them in the bag and pull those smaller ones out and let them go. But look at the clarity, unreal. Awesome with those sun rays coming through the water like that. Heaps of good little spots here. A lot of small crays through this area, but if you put the time and effort in, you will find some bigger ones. And the odd snapper swimming around here. I did see one on the way out to the point, quite a good size one mid-water, but it saw me, and as soon as I looked up at it, it was gone. Right, taking another drop down here. They love this kelp. Wherever I can find this kind of kelp, I'll drop down and have a look at the rocks around it, because I don't know what it is about this kelp, but they absolutely love it. I've got another good rock that I'm actually heading towards now to check. Usually holds a couple of bigger crays, so I'm just kind of pushing down the coast to the spots I know, but then also when I find kelp like this in a good looking area, taking a few drops and seeing what I can find. Another drop here. This is into a rock where I've pulled a few crays out in recent times, but it doesn't look like anyone's really home. But as I said, check out the clarity. Check out the clarity. It's such a nice dive. Just stalking around here, sneaking around. There's a little. Was that a snapper? Nah, it's a spotty. I'm chasing a little snapper there, but they're pretty flighty and all. Alright, so this is one of my main rocks here that I usually come and check when I dive this area. Hole at the front, and a hole in between the two rocks that usually can hold a couple of decent crays. So I'll just have a breathe up here, and we'll go down and have a look. I'm expecting there to be at least one good cray in here, just going off the amount of crays that have been around. So take a dive down here. It's not too deep, it's only about 4 meters deep. Look how clear it is in here, and my hole's here to the left, and I get down and have a look under there. Nobody home, one tiny little cray in there. But yeah, a bit disappointed. I was expecting to get a good cray out of there. Have a look around the outside. Sometimes when it is loaded, there'll be crays sitting around in obvious areas, but nobody's really home anywhere, so that's a little bit disappointing, but you can't win them all, and the cray diving's been exceptional with lake, so yeah, definitely can't complain. Alright, now here I am, I'm going to get my hook, and I've got my torch out, and I've just realised that I've left my hook way down the coast. I actually thought I might have lost it, but yeah, I think it's back where I dropped it, because I've got this crack here, and it's quite a big open crack, and usually full of crays, and there's a lot of area for the crays to move, so a hook's pretty essential for this hole. Anyway, we're going to have a crack without the hook, so I'll take my gun down, and I'll use the shaft and the flopper on my gun and just try and drag a cray out. It definitely doesn't work as well as the hook, but it's better than not having anything. A little bit deeper here, still not crazy deep, but deep for Frank and his average diving skills. Alright, let's have a bit of a breathe up, get the torch on, and get into this hole. This hole can hold stacks of crays. Alright, as we go down, we're going to go down here under this weed edge, and it's an awesome crack this. Have a shine in here. Unfortunately you guys can't see a lot, but there was only one cray in here, and it was the same size as those other crays, so I didn't even bother. Bit disappointing. I really thought that would be holding some good crays this time of year. Go back up and have a breathe up. There's another couple of cracks next to this one. Dive down on those as well, and that was pretty empty. So a little bit disappointed. I was expecting there to be quite a few crays in there. Here we go. This is the next part of this crack. Not as big and open, but still can hold some good crays. Blue mokies swimming around everywhere. Red mokies, sorry. Have a look at this bit. Shine around. Absolutely empty. Nobody home. So we're heading back up to the surface to have a bit of a sight. So from there I went down the coast a bit more, and surprisingly, yeah, not a lot of crays home. So I started heading back towards some of my other areas. I have a drop here and have a look under these rocks as well, but also nobody home. Can't win them all. No good. But the clarity's epic. Still a nice dive. Still got 4 crays in the bag so far, so we're still winning. And yeah, I'm making my way back to try and find my cray hook now. Finding a bit of good ground on my way back and just having a little scout around, trying to find some new area. Take a couple of drops down here. As I said, it's that kelpy yellow weed that the crays seem to like, so a few boulders here, drop down, and you'll see there's quite a few crays hanging around down through here, but they're all on the smaller side, even though they look big. A lot of the smaller crays do look big under the water on camera for some reason. I guess you don't really have anything to measure them up to, so they all look massive. But yeah, good numbers of small crays in through this area, which is always positive, you know. Yeah, heading up to the surface, and then, let's go find my cray hook. Right, we're back to the start now, where we got those first crays out, and where I'm pretty confident I've left my hook. So we're making our way back around the corner here. Have another look, dive down, look at this crack where we put the cray hook in earlier. And to my surprise, in there is another good cray just there. And I don't know where that was when we were in here earlier, because I definitely didn't see that, but that is quite a decent cray. I definitely didn't see that when we were there earlier. Anyway, come back through here to where I got those 2 crays, dive down here, and would you look at that, there's my cray hook. So grab that, and we'll head back and see if we can get that cray out of that tight crack. A few little crays hanging around in there, nothing crazy. Let's head back and have a crack at this cray in here. As I said, it's quite a skinny crack, and you can't really get your arm in very far, but with a hook, straight in, get the hook behind it, drag it out the water, grab that, and that cray's actually a lot bigger than I expected. Well sized, a really good cray, especially from the shallows. Look at that. Really happy with that one. That one's going back to the bag. We'll work out which ones are the biggest, keep those, and then I think we're at 5 crays right now, so let 2 go. Check that out. Stoked with that cray, especially after everything else being empty down the coast. Put another good one in the bag. It's been a good few days. It's been an unreal camping trip. For those that have watched all 3 of the videos, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. In the bag, and as I open the bag, I can see that one's quite a lot smaller than the rest of them, so I grab that one out and let it go over here. Little bit of a juggling act trying to get that one out. Still decent sized cray, but that guy's heading back. See you later, mate. How cool is it watching them swim off? See ya. And put that good one in the bag, and then we'll measure the other 2. So you end up measuring those other 2 back at the beach and let it go into the rocks just off the beach. Right, that one's going in the bag. Super stoked. That's a nice cray. And now I'm starting to head for home. What actually happened here, the plan was to get out of the water, get dry, and cook up breakfast on the beach and then pack up camp and head home, but we got out of the water, got dry, and the weather turned on us pretty quickly, so we made a mad dash to pack everything up, and we had a lot of gear at camp. Packed everything up, packed everything in the boat, and got out of there before the rain hit. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We've got an epic video coming next week, so stick around for that one. Give this little sea flap a little tickle, and it's on its way. Once again, leave us a comment, let us know what you thought of the action, and yeah, next week's going to be a banger, so see you then.